Hey amigos, it's Tello here, back to you in another video for today. Another one of these chill style videos where we're just talking and having a little discussion. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. I know I am. I'm getting a couple sandwiches, maybe a couple chips and dip. Settle down, much love to you. Editor, don't pack them up. And the three things that I want to talk to you guys about today is one being how Blizzard accidentally made a new community with World of Warcraft. Number two being how the players have more impact than you think. And number three being obviously Phase 9 hype. So, Phase 9 hype, Phase 9 hype, Phase 9 hype. Lock it in. Yeah. But shout out to the Twitch, selfish plug. Much love to you. And look at this guy. He's trying to take a break right now. Hold on a second. Get up, amigo, before I pack your ass up. Unbelievable. For number one, let's stay on topic. Blizzard made a community by accident when it comes to Season of Discovery. I've always believed that Season of Discovery players are a good mix of classic Andes who love Azeroth and want to stay in the world of Classic because they want to see it expanded, and a good mix of retail players that didn't want to really play retail anymore. They wanted to come back to Classic, but they just wanted to feel some tweaks in power, right? They wanted to see some classes enhanced, pretty much. And that's what we got for the most part. If you even look at the charts right now, log-based, right? If we're looking at data, a lot of the classes are in line in terms of damage overall, besides the bottom two, Arms Warriors and Arcane Mages, which can use a little bit more love, for sure, and I don't disagree to that. But a lot of the classes are in line in damage metrics, at least, or at least in terms of just metrics overall, compared to Classic. When you look at Classic, we have a much different, pretty much comparison where it's really just majority of warriors pumping all the damage, and then that line falls flat. And when you look at it in a side-by-side, even with retail is kind of like this as well, where retail, all of its metrics are kind of like on this very nice curve where, yes, some classes are outperforming others, but you could tell that that can flip by any next update or patch or changes to stuff that Blizzard wanted to include it, and it has a nicer metric design in comparison to the original Classic game where obviously warriors are just pumping all the damage. But what I'm getting at is this, is that for the most part, I think Season of Discovery at this point, a lot of people have always said back in the day, oh, it's retail minus, or it's just a made-up version of Classic Plus. And to be honest with you, I don't think you're wrong. And I don't think that's a bad thing as well. Because a lot of people usually say these things, they use these words with some type of feeling behind them, emotion, where they try to convey maybe some towards hate towards Blizzard or some type of anger with the decisions that was made for Season of Discovery. But I genuinely think that if it's Classic minus or retail minus, whatever we want to call this, it's in the middle ground, and it's created its own community of players that love SOD. They're not Classic Andes, even though they came from Classic, and they're not retail Andes, even though they came from retail. They're Season of Discovery players, and they love the fact that Season of Discovery has these really fun implementations that was involved with the multiple phases that we've had, and they want to get more of that. They want to experiment more with that, even though if it's just a test, realm, whatever people want to call it, it's very fun. And yes, it has its problems. We know the flaws already. This vehicle ain't perfect, but man, I personally think Season of Discovery has been one of my favorite times in WoW gaming, and I think it brings more positives to the World of Warcraft atmosphere than it did negatives. Because if you look at it like this, there really wasn't much going on with Classic at all. After 2019, to be honest with you, going after TBC, it's all a blur. Like, that hype, died. And Season of Discovery brought that back. It brought a lot of that back. Now, yes, the numbers did drift off. People went to play Kata as well. And obviously, we have Mop coming out. But at the end of the day, even the raid logs of Kata and Season of Discovery are pretty close with each other in terms of, people playing the video game. And I think there's this weird comparison that happens sometimes where people like to kind of pick this mob mentality of oh, I'm hanging out with these guys, so you guys over there suck. It's a weird way of looking at things when we're all under the umbrella of Blizzard, when we all pay $15 a month. Let us just enjoy the game that we want to enjoy. We all love World of Warcraft. We log on every day. Even the people that hate the game, that talk all the shit, they log on every day. It's just the facts. So I really think that the player base needs to understand as well that Season of Discovery, the community that we're in, it's not retail, it's not Classic. It is sod. It is its own new community, and Blizzard, by accident, or if they did this to be smart about it, because I know how Blizzard operates, they could have done this where sod is ending, and they want people to say, okay, well, now we have, TBC on its way. Do you want to go back to Anniversary, or do you wish to try MOP because you got that feeling of power to convince you guys to play a more retail-like game? That's a smart way of thinking if Blizzard is doing that. And honestly, more power to you. I give you credit. That's a genius Blizzard decision from a business perspective. So I just wanted to talk about how there is its own player base of Season of Discovery players. It's much different than Classic Andes, and it's much different from retail. It's its own thing, and I'm proud that it's its own thing because it's been a very fun time experiencing, a lot of different players that enjoyed loving the game of sod and, talk on the forums, talk on comments on multiple videos of many other creators. And I thoroughly think it is, honestly, in my opinion, one of the best experiences of World of Warcraft I've had in a very, very long time. So for number 2, I want to talk to you guys about how I feel like the player base has more power than you think. And I really feel like that has to do with especially everything we saw with last phase with, Naxxramas and the Karazhan Crypts. The developers made that, and they were really banking on ending right there. But the reception that they received from the player base on how positive everybody was for once, which is a rare Blizzard W and a community W too, that they were motivated to do another phase, and they gave us the Scarlet Enclave. Now, obviously, in the Scarlet Enclave, a lot of things have happened where, things are just not overall balanced in the 20-man scene for raiding. Only 140 or 120 guilds have completed 20-man. And in my opinion, I do have a way of feeling about that too, because I think it's cool that a small rarity of people have completed the raid. It kind of gives more meaning to the raid itself. And there's been a lot of nerfs and guts already to the raid where even if you bring 25-man plus, you could still clear the raid. But 20-man, it is harder. And the raid was intended for 20, so I can understand people's point of view. But I guess that's a subject for another day. But I want to talk about how the overall power of the player base, what we have and what we provide to Blizzard, leads to new things. And that's what I'm getting at, especially with Phase 8. I really feel like that if the player base continues to be either super negative or super toxic and a lot of hate on forum posts and all this stuff, calling the devs this and that, and they've never done any development a day in their life. They've never even touched the computer to know what's going on. They only know how to open up the World of Warcraft client for the most part. That is something that I think is not good for the game. And I want to see Season of Discovery continue to be tested with a Phase 9, Phase 10, Phase 11, whatever it is, and so on and so forth, to see what Blizzard has in store for possibly the future, And I am looking forward to it from a tester perspective, from a person that enjoys testing games, enjoys going through them, playing them, through and through, and having fun and grinding them out. And that's what I would love to see, because I want to see hope for the future. And I can easily cling on to the negativity and just call the developers a bunch of rude names, call the WoW team a bunch of rude names. But I understand, especially from a person who worked outside of World of Warcraft in an IT background, that I understand what it's like for devs, even at our own offices when I did work my job at that time, that they go through a lot. They go through a lot of stuff. Developers and engineers go through a lot of stuff, and I would really like to see them push Season of Discovery in a positive way where we can lead to another potential phase. And yes, if the problems are going to come along the way, of course they are. But us as a community, if we can continue vocalizing, our issues in a calm manner, I'm sure we can come to some type of resolution for a brighter future ahead. And I like to be optimistic about this. Maybe it sounds too positive, too clingy, but I'd rather be that than just say, well, fuck this, fuck that, fuck that. You know what I mean? I just don't want to, I don't want to be that type of guy. And I'm sure you don't want to watch that type of guy, because if a type of person is bitching and moaning all the time, that's the type of person I don't want to be in the room with, let alone be at a party yet. So settle down. Much love to you. And number 3, when it comes to the Phase 9 hype, right? Phase 9 hype. I really believe with all those files that we've seen, all the leaks that you probably already saw from Kago's videos and Eben's videos, it could be real. It can be real. It can also not be real. And it could be just them putting that in the background to prep themselves eventually down the line for more internal testing for TBC. And I can understand that. But boy, oh boy, I'll tell you right now, if Phase 9 is real and people are looking forward to it, man, it is going to blow the roof off this place, and people are going to have a really fun time. It's going to be really enjoyable, and I'm just really looking forward to the future to see what they possibly do with Season of Discovery. Phase 9 has the potential to be the biggest phase ever, and it could be insane, and it would really shut up a lot of the naysayers that have been, you know, hating on SOD for a long time. It would put a stamp of approval of just saying, you know what, we're not done with Season of Discovery. Everybody thinks they have it figured out, and they really don't. They're not the ones working at the offices. They're not the ones creating the video game. They are just people that are vocalizing their opinions, and they feel like they're right. And a lot of Blizzard players feel like that. I understand. A lot of us have egos, you know? But I really feel like, for the most part, Phase 9 is a possibility. And it can also not be a possibility, and that is fine. Either way, if Season of Discovery were to end, I would be satisfied with what we have, and that's it, and we move on and try something else. But even if it doesn't end, and it goes to another, you know, version, whether it's like, you know, this TBC Outland style thing, SOD TBC, or maybe it's Hyjal or Grim Patrol or whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a gamer, just like you guys. I just want to play the damn game. I don't care. If it ends, it ends. If it continues, it continues. I don't think there needs to be this, like, you know, ongoing internal fight with players where it's like, SOD sucks, and Annie's better, or Retail's better, when it's like, bro, we're all playing World of Warcraft. Why don't we look towards hype and exciting times to come? Regardless of how we feel about Blizzard's changes and nerfs in our classes, this, and that, let's look forward to the future rather than just try to yell at ourselves in the present. Like, let's look forward to something new, and if nothing new comes, then we move on and try something else. I mean, come on, we're all grown-ass men. This shouldn't affect our, like, daily lives and how we function as people, bro. So, at the end of the day, I just wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about that. I'm really looking forward to, you know, Phase 9. If it exists, it exists, and we'll go from there. So, much love to you. Keep on keeping on, and I'll catch you in the next one, amigos. Peace.